Just wanted to show you guys our new friend. I haven't officially introduced him on YouTube, so he's not going to come here though. He's too busy rubbing his face. Wilson! Wilson! We got ourselves a little donk. He's super cute, you guys. And he's just enjoying his leisure time out right now. We got to keep this guy separated from him for a little while because he's kind of intimidating, and Trigger just wants to boss him around, but we'll see how long that lasts. Come here, Wilson. We're dealing with some wind today, so I hope you guys can hear me. I hope the audio is not too bad. I just got home from work. It is Friday, and before I even consider what I'm making for dinner, I'm gonna come out to the garden because I did go plant shopping and just picked up a few things. I went with a friend. We met up, had lunch, and we bought plants. Sounds like a good day off to me, don't you think? So I'm going to show you guys what I got. It's just, again, a few things. I just wanted to fill a couple flower pots, and I'll show you guys those in a minute here in the garden. I do plan to kind of fill after I plant my vegetable crops in the beds. I'm going to underplant, with some flowers and stuff. And some I've started from seed, but some I haven't. And I did, like I said, pick up some stuff from Home Depot and Lowe's. I think most of it's from Lowe's, and I did pick one thing up from Home Depot. But again, I'm going to show you guys here in a second. But I just wanted to share that with you guys because I know a lot of my plant people and, people that like gardening might appreciate it. But before I show you guys the plants, I'm going to show you guys what I'm trying to pot up. So let me show you guys that. Okay, guys, so I don't know if you guys noticed, I have 2 pots here. I actually do have 4 of these pots. I have 2 sitting over there in that corner. I may or may not use them right now. I'm kind of just playing around with all the stuff that I have that I'm going to show you guys here. So I did pick up these pots. Let me get a close up. I picked up these pots from Walmart about 2 years ago, I believe. And they were clearance for $11, so I picked them up. They're a pretty good size. I originally was planning on putting, as you can see, I have a dead raspberry bush, and I think one of them had a boysenberry. They didn't do too well in these pots because I wasn't consistent with watering. So my plan is to just stick a couple perennial flowers, and that I can maybe plant out into the garden if I get tired of looking at them. And let me just pan out here. This is kind of just under our little pergola here. So they will get some, a little bit of afternoon shade. So if they need that break in the middle of the summer, if you guys are a little crooked, I apologize. I'm using my tripod today. And this one just has a little backstory. I went to Home Depot because they had a sale on some roses. And I picked this guy up. I was trying to revive him. He's not completely dead. If I come back and maybe prune off all this dead part right here, I might have a chance of getting some growth because this bottom stalk right here is alive. This is supposed to be a beautiful, I believe it's called Zafrine Dolan or Dolan Zafrine, something like that. It's a beautiful climbing rose. And I wanted to put this on one of my obelisks that my husband built me. However, as you can see, she's just kind of suffering a bit because I took too long to plant her. I haven't completely given up on her. As I mentioned, she does have some life still. I'm going to just maybe give her a good prune. But now that we're trying to warm up, I think that's probably a good time to do it. And then let me show you guys what I picked up the other day with my friend while we're plant shopping. Like I said, this is all going to go in those 2 pots. So I got 2 of everything. So I did pick up 2... Let's see if I can get this over here without dropping everything. I picked up 2 of the French lavender. Lavender is a perennial, however, and it is a little bit more drought tolerant. It does appreciate a little bit of dry soil in between waterings. But I noticed with my lavender, and I don't know if you guys can see those bushes, I do have some Spanish lavender bushes planted in that border behind the motorhome back there against the wall. And those things, you guys, are beasts. And I know I've showed them in the past, but as you can see, they're very woody. They probably could do a good prune. They probably could be, due for one, but I'm kind of afraid I'm going to mess it up. And like I said, they're kind of just good bushes. They're going to bloom here. They should be blooming any minute, actually. but we're gonna keep an eye on those. And then I picked up some dianthus. I just thought the pretty, just beautiful baby pink color looks good with the lavender color. So again, one of each in the pots. And then I just picked up some pretty alyssum. You know, alyssum is good for the garden. I was actually originally going to get some of this and just, like I said, stick it in the beds. However, I just thought it'd be cute to go. Sorry, again, I'm trying to work with this. Sorry, guys. So we'll do the lavender, the dianthus, and then have the pretty alyssum on the bottom. And bees love alyssum, so it's very good annual flower to plant near vegetables. It attracts pollinators like crazy. So I'm going to have some of this. And then on this side, I mentioned we went to Lowe's and Home Depot. Home Depot was clearancing on all their flowers. Now, I was trying to get another one of the same brand of the rose I just showed you, which I think it was called the Dolan, Saffron Dolan or something like that. This is just a Climbing America. It looks pinkish on the picture, but it could, because it's kind of faded, it could also be a red. I was trying to avoid red roses because I just really love pink. So again, it's a climber, and they had them for half off, so 50% off. I couldn't beat that deal, you guys. So, you know, what, $8 for like a pretty good size rose. And this one looks a lot better shape than the one I just showed you. So I'm going to plant this in place of where I was going to plant the other one. And then hopefully if I bring back that other one, then I can find a new place for that. And I would love eventually to put a trellis right here and let it kind of climb up and cover that wall. And then here's my other alyssum for that other pot. So I'm going to plant these up right now. I got to go grab my soil. It's in my car. And then I'm going to show you guys how it looks at the end. Okay, so I'm going to start with one. And I just wanted to point out that I am planting them. Sorry, we have a lot going on in our neighborhood. I'm gonna use my planter bed that I have not yet planted in as kind of like a base, so that if I drop any dirt, it'll kind of just go in here and it won't hurt anything, and I don't have to clean up as much mess because I'm kind of a messy planter. So I'm gonna start by just taking out pretty much all of the old potting soil that I have in here. As I mentioned, I tried planting some raspberries, boysenberries in the past, and they just didn't do too well in these pots. So I think I'm gonna hold off planting berries this year, but you never know. Like, I like to change my mind, so we'll see how it goes. I am just using this pretty it's just a potting soil mix from, you can get it at any Home Depot or Lowe's. It's just the Kellogg brand. It's an organic Patio Plus mix. And I'm just going to fill it up pretty much to the top. I think what I am going to add is maybe a little bit of some fertilizer in this mix. So I'm going to go grab that and I will be right back. Go see what I can find, because that's one thing I did forget to pick up was fertilizer. And I do like to give my potted plants a little extra fertilizer, because you have to remember that they're taking all the nutrients out of the soil, and just everything in the pot is what they need. And I'm going to start off doing it right, so I'll be right back. Okay. So what I found in my little pile here is just the Miracle-Gro. It's just shake feed. It's just an all-purpose plant food. I know I have some, I think, in the house. It's just a continuous plant feed as well. It's just a different brand. This one's not bad. It has kelp, earthworm castings, feather meal, and bone meal. So it'll give all my plants what they need. A lot of people steer away from Miracle-Gro, especially like in their organic gardens, just because they tend to have some like synthetic stuff in them. I don't plan on using this in the vegetable garden. I'm just going to use it in my flower pots because I'm not going to eat the flowers, so I feel okay about it. So I don't know, you guys do you. should be good. And I'm just gonna mix it around. And I'm going to do the French lavender, because that's my middle piece. And as you can see, it's pretty pot bound, so make it work. I did water these yesterday, but they're pretty dry already, so these things are dying to get in the ground and into some good soil. I think that looks good. I have really no rhyme or reason what I'm doing. I'm just kind of figuring it out. This one needed to get out of that pot as well. They look so pretty together. I think they do. I'm going to take off any spent blooms. They don't need to be in there. I'm just going to backfill. I'm going to use one whole pack of the alyssum, and I'm just going to stick them in there because I think it's going to look pretty. I think so. Just do it on either side. And then I'm just going to backfill. Fill in the gaps. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's looking good already. I gotta add more dirt here. There's a big old gap. And a lot of these plants should do well in here. So, like I said, I tried to get stuff that was gonna do well for my pollinators. I love flowers. I love seeing butterflies, hummingbirds, bumblebees. I love seeing all that. Uh-oh. Almost forgot one. Go. All right, you guys, here is what she looks like. A very simple pot, but as you can see, it's just gonna do, I think it's gonna do really well here, because ever since we put up the shade cloth in our pergola, it has just made it so much nicer out here. The plants get a little break from the sun, which we live in a very hot, dry climate, so they do appreciate that. So what I'm gonna do is pot up that pot exactly the same as that one, and then I will show you guys how everything looks like in the end. All right, you guys, so they are both planted up. I think that once they fill in a little bit and the alyssum kind of spreads just a tad, it's going to fill in all those gaps, and it's just going to look fabulous. This one has a little bit more sun right now, and then this one over here. Oh my gosh, they look so pretty. And it's just getting me super excited for spring. Even though I know we're in spring, we are a little bit after, what are we now? The 7th today? I don't even know what day it is. And our last frost date was technically April 1st. However, we did have a few days in the like 30s, like low 30s, 31, which is, freezing. So I am, happy I didn't pull all my tomato plants. They are actually I've been letting them out every single day since, because our 10-day forecast shows no signs of frost. So I've been bringing them out, and I'm just going to show you really quick that I'm prepping this bed now to plant some of those tomatoes. I don't know if I'm going to put all of them in there. I kind of haven't decided yet. So I will be sure to show you guys what I'm doing there. I kind of put together a couple trellises. I don't know if I'm going to use those because I don't know. I got them off Amazon. Let me show you guys. They're a little cheaper than I thought they were going to be. They're super, see how like flimsy they are? So this might work for my Roma tomatoes if I give them a good trim. I don't know that I can use these for my beef steaks or even my tomatillos because they're going to need a more sturdy trellis, and I don't know that I'm actually going to put up like a sturdy trellis right now. I kind of just want to see what happens. I don't really want to put anything up permanent right now. I do have maybe some T-posts lying around and cattle panel, obviously I always have that stuff. So if anything, I can do that. I might use this bed to put tomatillos and peppers, but I don't know, we're just playing around. I just wanted to show you guys this really fast before I sign off. But these are my, look at you guys, my corn is coming up. It's looking fabulous. This row is doing really well. This one right here. And all these on this side had just popped up today because I came out here this morning. There was nothing. So all those little green little stalks right there. I'm so excited. And if you guys remember, I said I had 2 different varieties. So from like the middle this way is like my sweet corn, and then that side is my glass gem corn, which is a pretty multicolored like hard popcorn. So yeah, we're gonna see what happens. So I'm excited for that. And I think that's going to do it for this video. I just wanted to show you guys a couple of the potted plants that I was going to pot up, and I just figured I would show you guys what I was doing and kind of the updates so far on the 2 beds. Everything's looking great so far, and I just wanted to tell you guys, so really quick, I know I always do this, but so last year I did try to start a garden. Now I was like kind of unmotivated because, as I mentioned in the past, I just was really unmotivated because my planter beds were really broken and they were looking kind of shabby, and I just didn't want to plant out here because there was tons of weeds and it looked really ugly. But I did try. I planted some seeds in the greenhouse. I started them. And I did go back and watch a video because I just want to like, document some things. And, some people, gardeners, use notebooks. I just use, YouTube videos to, record and like keep records. So I went back and I was talking about pests in the garden, and as soon as I had planted out, I don't even know what I planted out in one of the beds, and the next day I came out to check on them, and something came and ate them all. And in my area we have really bad, we call them ground squirrels. They're just really, they're squirrels. They're brown squirrels, but they make little burrows underneath the ground. We don't get squirrels that go in trees. I mean, they're all just the little brown ones. And I have seen rabbits in the past, but we don't get many rabbits here because we have dogs. So squirrels are a big issue, and birds. And I talked about that they were eating my plants, and I was kind of worried about it, and I didn't even think about it, but nothing, knock on wood, has touched my plants. Nothing has even come to like look at my cabbage or anything, which is a good thing. Now, I didn't even bring this up. I'm sure you guys may or may notice, I don't know if you guys have watched any of my past videos, but my husband and my son put up this big giant privacy screen back here for the neighbors. I mean, we didn't need to put it up, but we had it, so we used it, and it's kind of blocking out some high winds that we get because their yard is pretty open. And so this chain link between mine and my neighbor's fence yard, it just blows crazy out here. So, and it blocks a little bit of sun, so it's giving us a little bit more privacy, plus a little bit more protection, which I think is from the brown squirrels, because a lot of the squirrels would come from their yard because they have a little bit more, how do you say, it's just a little bit more wild back there. Like, it's a little bit more untamed. They have more natural setting in their back. So there's a lot of wildlife, and a lot of wildlife comes through the chain link fence to our yard. So I think it's kind of protecting that too. So I'm going to keep updates on that too, because I think that's kind of interesting. So if you guys have like an issue where, you're in kind of like a suburban area, we more or less are. I mean, we are in a neighborhood. We are a little bit more rural than our previous house that we lived in years ago. But we do share a fence with a neighbor, and like I said, we get tons of animals. So, our pests, I should say. So yeah, that's something I just wanted to bring up. So I don't know. I think it's working, you guys. So we will see. As I mentioned in the video that I was watching, when I was just so disappointed that something came and ate all of my starts, I was so upset. And I think that's kind of just was it for gardening season for me that last year, because I was just so done and I was frustrated, and I was trying so hard to put something in the ground, and I was so motivated. But then that kind of just was like the icing on the cake for me. And I said, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. But anywho, I'm going to leave you guys with that. Thank you guys so much for watching and checking out my updates. And yeah, so happy gardening.